Ever wonder what happens when an elevator takes you someplace it shouldn't? What if that place held secrets that twisted reality itself? Deep in the heart of an old city, Blackwood Building guards a terrifying truth, protected by 7 rules that no one should ever break. This isn't just a building, it's a gateway to nightmare fuel. Get ready to find out what Arthur, a simple night watchman, discovered when that elevator stopped on the 13th floor. What he saw will keep you up at night. Watch till the end to unravel the shocking truth behind the 7 rules of the haunted elevator. Night fell like a hammer on Blackwood Building, a gothic leviathan that seemed to swallow the city's light. Me, Arthur, a young architecture student hustling for an internship, had no clue this would be my last normal job. The ad was vague. Night watchman, easy hours, great pay. Sounded too good to be true. And you know what? It was. On my first shift, the janitor, a pale dude with eyes that looked like they'd seen too much, handed me a crumpled envelope. "This is for the elevator," he croaked, voice like gravel. "Follow the rules, every damn one, no exceptions." He gave me a look that chilled me to the bone before vanishing into the shadows of the lobby. Inside the envelope wasn't an instruction manual, but a yellowed piece of paper with shaky, almost unreadable handwriting. The title, scrawled in messed up capital letters, screamed, "The 7 Rules of the Elevator." My initial skepticism turned into morbid curiosity. What kind of rules does an elevator need? And why did the janitor look like he'd seen a ghost? As I read the first few lines, a shiver ran down my spine. These weren't safety rules or maintenance checks. They were warnings. Warnings about what to do or not do if the elevator decided to take you for a ride to a place that wasn't on the map. The lobby lights flickered, and the rusty winch of the elevator groaned like a mournful cry from the building's guts. I was alone, and Blackwood seemed to breathe around me. The rules were right there, staring me down, and I knew my life, or what was left of it, depended on every word. There were 7 rules, each more messed up than the last. The first one, for example, said, "Never push the button for the 13th floor. It doesn't exist." I laughed, a nervous chuckle, figuring it was some inside joke. But the janitor didn't strike me as the comedian type. The second rule was even weirder. If the elevator stops between floors, don't look up, ever. And the third, if you hear a nursery rhyme coming from inside the shaft, cover your ears and count to 10. Don't stop till you hit 10. That first night, time crawled. The silence in Blackwood was heavy, broken only by the occasional creak of the old structure. Around 2 in the morning, while I was making my rounds, the elevator thumped down to the lobby. The doors slid open, revealing empty darkness. Nobody was there. I hit the button to close the doors, but they resisted, like something was holding them back. An icy chill hit me, and a metallic smell, like old blood, filled the air. I closed my eyes for a second, and when I opened them, the doors slammed shut with a sharp click. Over the next few days, the incidents got more frequent, more disturbing. One night, the elevator screeched to a halt between the 5th and 6th floors. My heart pounded. Rule number 2 echoed in my head. Don't look up. I forced myself to keep my eyes glued to the metal doors, feeling an overwhelming pressure from the elevator ceiling, like something heavy was up there right above me, watching. The air turned freezing, and I could hear a scratching sound like fingernails on metal coming from above. I counted to 10, breathing deep, and the elevator, with a lurch, started moving again. Another time, the nursery rhyme from Rule 3 started playing, faint at first, then louder, from the elevator shaft. It was a warped lullaby, with off-key notes that felt like they were scraping my soul. I covered my ears with my hands, squeezing my eyes shut, and counted. 1, 2, 3. The melody seemed to seep into my mind, twisting into whispers. 4, 5, 6. I felt something brush my hair, a cold, clammy touch. 7, 8, 9. The melody cut off abruptly at 10, and the silence that followed was even more terrifying. I was starting to believe the rules and fear what broke them. The fourth rule was a real mind trip. If the elevator stops on the 13th floor and the lights flicker, don't get out. No matter what you see or hear, the doors will close. Just wait. The fifth was even more direct. If a face appears on the panel screen, don't make eye contact. Look away. It doesn't like being seen. I read them, and a chill ran down my spine, a sense that my final exam was coming. It happened on the 7th night. Blackwood was quieter than ever, a silence that felt like it was screaming. I was in the lobby when the elevator, without anyone calling it, rose to the 13th floor. The lights flickered like crazy, and an electrical hum filled the air. My heart hammered. The doors opened slowly, revealing not a floor, but a hallway. This wasn't Blackwood. It was a dark, damp place with moldy walls and a sickening smell of decay. The dim light from a bare bulb hanging from the ceiling swung back and forth, casting dancing shadows that seemed to writhe. From inside the hallway, I heard a whisper that seemed to call my name, distorted and guttural. Rule 4. Don't get out. I clung to the control panel, my hands clammy. The voice got louder, more insistent, and then a heavy dragging sound from the darkness. Something was moving in there. My eyes were locked on the doors, waiting for them to close. But they stayed open, like a hungry mouth. Suddenly, the elevator panel lit up. It wasn't the floor number. It was a face. Rule 5. Don't make eye contact. It was a pale face, with huge dark eyes, no pupils, that seemed to pierce me. Its mouth was stretched into a wide, messed-up smile, showing sharp, jagged teeth. I looked away, but I couldn't shake the feeling of its eyes on me, burning my skin. The smile widened even further, and a clicking sound, like bones breaking, came from the face on the screen. The smell of decay intensified, and I felt an icy breath on my neck, even inside the elevator. I was trapped, and whatever was in the hallway and on the screen knew it. Time stretched, an eternity of frozen terror. The face on the elevator panel kept smiling, its empty eyes fixed on me, even when I wasn't looking directly at it. The dragging sound in the hallway got closer, and the smell of decay was almost unbearable. I was on the edge of collapse, sanity slipping away with every second the doors stayed open. I could feel the presence, heavy and cold, right at the edge of the elevator, like it was just waiting for an invitation. That's when I remembered the 6th rule. If the nursery rhyme stops, and the silence is absolute, sing a lullaby, your lullaby. Don't stop until the doors close. And the 7th, the most messed up, Never, ever try to understand, just accept. With a shaky, almost inaudible voice, I started humming an old lullaby that my mother used to sing to me. It was a simple tune about stars and dreams. At first, nothing changed. The face on the screen kept staring. The dragging sound persisted, but I kept going, my voice gaining a desperate strength. A minute passed. 2. The melody filled the small space of the elevator, a bizarre contrast to the horror around me. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the elevator doors started to move. A high-pitched, metallic groan accompanied their closing. The face on the screen flickered, distorted for a moment, and then went black. The dragging sound stopped. The smell of decay faded. The doors slammed shut with a click, and the elevator, with a jerk, started to descend. When the doors opened again, I was back in the lobby of Blackwood Building. The light was the same, the air was the same, everything seemed normal, but I wasn't the same. The janitor was there, waiting for me, with the same tired look. He didn't say anything, just nodded, like he knew exactly what I'd been through. I handed the crumpled rules back to him. He took them, his fingers brushing mine, and I felt a chill. "You learned, didn't you?" he whispered. I just nodded, unable to speak. The next morning, I quit. I've never stepped into an elevator since without a shiver down my spine. The rules of Blackwood Building and what I saw and felt on that 13th floor have followed me. I've tried not to understand, like the 7th rule said, but the face, the smile, and the dragging sound, they've never left me. And sometimes in the dead of night, I swear I can still hear a faint nursery rhyme coming from some place that shouldn't exist. What would you do if you were trapped between reality and the unknown, with a macabre grin watching you from the void? Arthur's story at Blackwood Building reminds us that some mysteries are best left unsolved. Creepypastas and urban legends like this make us question the boundaries of our own fear. Do you think the elevator rules could be real? Have you ever had an unexplained experience with liminal spaces or entities? Drop your scariest theory in the comments below. We want to know what you think. And if you dig stories that test your courage and make you double-check the shadows, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss our next spine-chilling tale. Share this video with that friend who loves a good psychological thriller and help us spread the fear and the truth.